I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal for how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was scarred with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawn. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, outcasted like hey ya.
Yo! Party people in the place to be. What's good? It's your man, Uncle Freezie, and welcome to the Knicks Morning Drive. Man, it's so good to be here with y'all, man. I'm glad y'all here in attendance. Y'all are now rocking with the chief rocker in Knicks universe, Uncle Freezie, the man, the myth, the legend. Let's talk some Knicks this morning. Let's talk some Knicks. But before we do that, let's do this. Blue tears, orange tears, blorange tears. Let's go. Let's go. Let me start by saying this. Throw your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. And if you got some loot and a stick of juicy fruit, somebody say, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Scream! Let's go. T. Williams is in the building. Pudge Nice was good. I see you. Was good. Heck Breezo was good. Thugger is in the building. Troy Flett was good. Lily Phillips. Man, is packed in here. Look at all my people. Troy Flett is in the building. Mr. Vince is in the building. What's good? Mr. Vince, you got to get on with us, bro. You got to get on with us. We love having you on, man. We got to figure out a way to do that so you can be on with us. Jamie Peralta's in the building. What's good? Peace, peace, peace. What's good? JJ, what's good? Will Salkin. D'Angelo, what's happening? My guy, D'Angelo, what's good? Ricardo Torres, what's good? What's good? Hewlett Samuel, what it do? Juju 92 was in the building. What's good? Chef NYK is in the building. D Nice. What's happening? G Robinson. What's good? Yo, Miss Geraldine is in the building. How's the bowling going? Me, Chuck Allen, and we do this joint every morning. Vibes and stuff live. It get crazy over there in the morning. Yo, the topics this dude bring up, sometimes it forced me to be late because I be wanting to leave. And anyway, it's crazy. We was talking about bowling and how I am not a bowler. But I can play one on TV. I look the bowler part, but I'm not that guy. I'm like the athlete that thinks anything that has a ball in it can be done by him. That's me. Pause. Right? Where's my guy at? I thought I saw somebody. Oh, still Knicks fans is in the building. Black University is in the E. Gibson, what's good? All Future Media is in the building. Wayne Peterson was good. Was good. Let me start by saying this to y'all. Or let me not start, because I guess I started already. Was that not a good start? I felt like my energy was up. But let me not start with that. Let me also add this. Yo, Malik Cologne, what's good? Let me start by saying this. Let me quote the great American poet Grand Poobah when he said, "Now a lot of people think this is easy as it looks. Books and books of rhyme concepts and hooks. Stressing and stressing to get thoughts session to session to get thoughts manifested. Stressing and stressing to hit the world with a blessing." Right? Right? I say that because rocking a joint on YouTube is not easy, right? But I'm giving y'all everything I got, and I'm going to do that every day because y'all give me everything that y'all got every day. And we need to reciprocate that love. That's the reason why I be here. Not because I feel like what I have to say is the most important thing in Knicks universe. It's because you guys show up every day and y'all have y'all thoughts too. And I need some of that. I need a lot of it. We keep each other going. And I know that sound corny. Whatever. I already know y'all go to other shows, watch other stuff, and y'all have to, super chat it up or type in all caps or something to get somebody's attention for them. I'm not knocking them, right? But what I'm saying is here, this is our safe place. This is that place where we could come to and kick it. And I hope y'all appreciate where I'm coming from, or at least understand my intent. I love having all of y'all here every day, right? You know what I'm saying? Love having everybody here every day. And even though we agree or disagree and things get crazy and sideways and all kind of, people call me the ringmaster. Uncle Freezie, you the ringmaster of this circus. And you know what I say to that? So so what? It's all love. So, but let me tell you this: if you're a Knicks fan and think this session, this Knicks morning drive is going to be all warm and fuzzies, wrong. If you think I'm giving Tom Thibodeau a pass, be wrong. If you think this is all Julius Randle love, don't criticize Randle because he might hear it and wrong. He my guy. I like Randle. But nobody is above criticism in this life. Nobody. L Train is in the building. What's good? King Imbert, what's good? But yeah, nobody is above criticism. Anytime you do anything in the public, people are always going to criticize. That's just a part of life. It's the game of life. We all live it until we don't live it no more. And then some of us still get criticized. So, but listen, this is my thing. I'm going to quote the great American poet, right? I'm going to quote two great American poets, right? So that the Knicks franchise can understand where it is I'm coming from, right? So first, I'm going to quote the great American poet, Melly Mel, right? Melly Mel said, and this is to the Knicks front office: "A child is born with no state of mind, blind to the ways of mankind. God is smiling on you, but he's frowning too, because only God knows what you'll go through. You'll grow in the ghetto, living second rate, and your eyes are seeing a song of deep hate. The place that you play, Madison Square Garden, and where you stay looks like one great big alleyway," right? So here's the thing. Here's the other thing to it. Right? I got one more quote, and this quote is for the Knicks coaching staff. Right? This is for the Knicks coaching staff. Right? This is a quote by the great American poet, Prodigy. Prodigy said, "There's a war going on outside no man is safe from. You can run, but you can't hide forever from these streets that we done took. You walk around with your head down, scared to look. You shook because ain't no such thing as halfway crooks. What's good, everybody? What's good? That was a quote by the great American poet Prodigy. What's good? What's good? Wayne Peterson in the building. Ron Cleveland in the building. What's good? What's good? Ronaldo Maldonado. What's good? Darren Wayne. What's good? So let me do a tip off, right? Let me do a tip off. This stupid phone keep buzzing. Let me turn this. Let me do this so I can stay focused. The phone buzzing. I'm over here trying to talk to y'all, and they trying to talk to me, knowing that I do a show early in the mornings. What's good? Y'all got my undivided attention. So where's tip off? Tip off starts with a T. Is it capitalized? Bim. Yo. So here's the thing. This season is a disaster. And it's not even over. This Knicks season is an absolute disaster. Right? And I hear all these strange things. Listen, Uncle Freezie, listen, if y'all have been hitting me up and I hadn't returned, it's because the influx of stuff to me is borderline out of control. So I'm getting emails, telephone calls, text messages, DMs, carrier pigeons, snail mail, everything, talking about how I'm wrong about how I feel about this season. And I want to tell everybody has their own opinion. You feel how you feel. I'll feel how I feel, and we'll all be comfortable with our feelings. Right? Right? Like Quality Jumper is not going to tell Darren Wayne how he better feel. You know what I'm saying? What we should be thinking in this context is this. We all have our own experiences. Some of us have been Knicks fans longer than others, right? And some of us go to games and feel that atmosphere, what it's like in the Garden, or like what it's like in the arena where the Knicks play. And some of us don't go to games and we just watch games on TV. Some of us don't have League Pass. We just catch the Knicks games when they're on TV, right? And then there are some of us that go to games, have League Pass, buy all the merch, listen, go on YouTube, watch all the shows. So listen, the degree of our Knicks fandom is different based on D Poetic. Tell Chuck to put the link in the chat. Tell Chuck to put the link in the chat, man. You get. All right, hold on. All right, so they had some vibes and stuff going on. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. So here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? Um, we all have varying degrees of our Knicks fandom, right? For example, I've been a Knicks fan since the early '70s, right? And my real fandom came in like when the Knicks had just won championships. So while I was there for them, those championships are not mine, right? Those are like my uncles and my pops' them championships because they were old enough to appreciate it. I was like going along for the ride. So if you ask me if do I have my own championships, no, I don't. Because even though I was there, I didn't know what a championship was. I thought it was like getting ice cream. Shit, I thought it was like, oh, we won a championship. Oh, that must be easy. We'll do it again next year. You know what I'm saying? That was my thing because I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? And so when you ask me about like when y'all ask me about things about the Knicks, yes, I'm thirsty for a championship. I want a championship desperately, right? And the thing is as long as we have a plan, I'm okay with the plan as long as we don't piddle paddle around. That's a South Carolina word. That's a down south word. But that's a down south word. So maybe cats like Ron Cleveland to know what piddle paddle around mean. That's a country boy saying, right? I'm from Jersey City. I learned that word after I moved down here. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so we all have varying degrees of what it is that we want from this Knicks franchise, right? So the young people are not thirsty for a championship, right? They want respectability. They want the Knicks to be on TV. They want the Knicks to have multiple All-Stars. They want the Knicks not to be the butt of jokes in mainstream media. That's what they want. They can say they want a championship all day long, but they don't know what it's like. The 40 years of walking around in the world. They don't know what that's like. To be the 40 years, 50 years. And so I'm somewhere between 40 and 50 years of Knicks fandom, somewhere in there. I don't remember the exact day, so I guess a lot. Like sometimes I say 75, sometimes I say 74, sometimes I say 77. It depends, right? But my point to all of that is I think we as Knicks fans we need to be more understanding of who it is that we are talking to as Knicks fans, right? How we communicate, right? Like for instance, Bodega Wi-Fi and Pudge Nice may not have the same amount of years in this Knicks fandom, and not saying that one deserves more Knicks love than the other. But what I'm saying is when they talk, it should be more about, I'm a Knicks fan from the Carmelo era, or I'm a Knicks fan from the Sprewell era. And this is what I expect. Like for instance, the Pat Ewing era, right? And I'm not talking about 85, right? I'm talking about because 85 wasn't really the Pat Ewing era, even though he joined the Knicks in 85. The Pat Ewing era is when Pat became a force in the NBA, like 88. From like 88 to like 96 is like the Pat Ewing era. You know what I'm saying? And I know he was in the league longer than that. I know y'all gonna say, "Oh, Pat was after 85. He didn't get traded until." Listen, context. Pat was not a dominant player from 85 through 2000. He was not. Don't fool yourself. Don't act like Pat dominated the NBA for 15 years because he didn't. He didn't. Right? But what I'm saying is when we speak to each other, we have to have like this understanding of Knicks fandom. Like this young fella on Twitter that I used to respect. I don't know. He out of hand now. Right? He's way out of hand with some of his Knicks takes. So I don't really follow him like that.
But he was like, yo, I desperately want a championship. And it starts with getting rid of Randle, right? Get rid of Randle. And I'm like, big dog, I understand where you're coming from. But listen, you can't just because you don't like a player means that you should ship them or you should jettison the player, because at the end of the day, these players are assets to a front office. So by jettisoning a guy just so he won't be here, that doesn't make sense. It's the reason why the Knicks franchise is what it is right now. Fans don't like him, get rid of him. Oh, he's not a star. He's not a star. Get rid of him. That's one of the reasons why we don't have stars right now, because we're not patient. And when it's just, when it comes to building a team, you have to be patient, right? When it comes to being a star, you just gotta be patient. Mocha is in there like hacking, like she been smoking cigars or something. I had to, But anyway. So I got these 5 things. I'm gonna say them one before I bring people into the thing, because y'all know how y'all like to do. I get on the topic and then I bring y'all in here and y'all start talking about all kind of other stuff that don't have nothing to do with nothing sometimes, right? Uncle Freezie, how you just gonna diss the chat? It is what it is, bro. I legit will start a topic and then bring people in and they start talking about, like, we'll legit be talking about the offense that we run, and people are legit busting the video chat like, I hate Tibbs. Okay. So let me get to the 5 things just real quick. I'm gonna just go through these really quick and just go from there. All right. So there are 5 reasons why this Knicks season is a disaster. And I'm going to start with reason number 1, right? Reason number 1 is Julius Randle's regression, right? And it wasn't Julius Randle's regression this season. It was not a slide from stardom. It is, hey, you made the All-Star team last year, and you had, since that All-Star game, you have been going down and down and down and down. We saw it in the Atlanta playoff series, right? We saw it towards the end of the season. But other guys stepping up, like, hey, Flatbush Dre, what's good? Is that who I? Okay. So there was. I'm not blaming Randle for his slide, but when you get attention, when you stand up in the spotlight, people recognize you. All of a sudden, you're on people's radars. So now you get people's A game, right? And so Julius Randle's A game versus everybody else's A game means that Julius Randle's A game versus God dog, I can't even concentrate. Hold on. It's crazy. So anyway, Julius Randle's A game versus the rest of the league's A game is not a fair fight, because Julius Randle is not a number 1 option, not a true number 1. Julius Randle is more like a budget second option, but a very, very, very good third option on a good playoff team, right? The unfortunate part to this, though, is
the Knicks never bought in a number one option. So Julius Randle is what you got. Can you blame Julius Randle? Can you blame Julius Randle for stepping up in that number one option spot and making an all-star team? Can you blame him for that? No. You can't blame him. Right? It's like if y'all, like when y'all go to work and your boss get fired, say your boss get a DUI, he get canned. His boss come in and be like, hey, I just fired your boss. I need somebody to step up. And you step up in your former boss's job and you perform well and become employee of the quarter. Right? You make employee of the year. Right? But then the next year, when there are expectations for you to fill, like, hey, you in this spot, right? You were the interim guy, but now you're the full-time guy. Can you outperform your previous boss? And then you don't, because everybody remembers why your boss had the job and you didn't. So AJ Bueller was good. So you can't really blame. You can't blame Randle for stepping into that number one spot, that number one option spot, and thriving for the short time that he did. Right? Now, the Knicks didn't go out and get a true number one option because they felt like Randle could do that job long term. Wrong. Randle cannot do that number one option job full time. Randle is a very low budget or high budget number two option. Meaning if you bought in a number one option, Randle would be a inconsistent number two option. Right? But if he was the number three option, and this is my opinion, and Randle would be the best number three option in the NBA. Not a number two, not a number one. But a number three option, I think he thrives in that role. I think Randle in that role is still 20 and 10. I think Randle in that role, number three, is still 20, 10, and 5. I think Randle is 20, 10, and 5 as that third option role. Right? Is it Randle's fault that he's the number one guy? No. Should he have done better and handled that number one option better? Yes. Because I don't care where you are, no matter how much pressure people put on you, you should still be yourself. I don't care what kind of pressure people put on. I'll give you an example. D'Angelo. If D'Angelo, when I come up to the city, D'Angelo and I will go out to dinner somewhere and you know what I'm saying, have some fun doing something. Right? Whatever it is. Right? But I'm a vegan. And D'Angelo's gonna be like, yo, I know this steakhouse, and this is me. This is me being D'Angelo. Y'all, yeah, check out my D'Angelo imitation. Yo, Uncle Freezie, I know this steakhouse, man. They have the biggest, juiciest, hottest steaks around. And you know what I'm telling D'Angelo? Bruh, I'm vegan. I ain't eat no damn steak. I'm vegan. I don't eat animal stuff. I don't ingest any of that stuff. Right? And he gonna be like, but you only been vegan 6 weeks, man. It don't matter. I'm not changing just because I'm here. I'm staying true to myself. And that is one of the things that I think Julius Randle has to embrace. Bruh, be yourself, big dog. Don't let pressure change who you are. Period. I think that's where a lot of this stuff. I think where a lot of this stuff come from. Like, as Knicks fans, we are mad at Randle for being the number one option when we knew he was a number three option coming here. You mad at Randle for not being a number one option, and I get it. You want a number one, but that's not Randle's fault. That's the front office's fault.
Julius Randle is not a number one. He's not. And I don't know if Julius Randle is listening to this, he might be mad at me like, Uncle Freezie, how you gonna say I'm not a number one option? Have you seen this team? Bro, listen, I'm not saying you're a bad player. That's not what I'm saying. Scottie Pippen was a number 2 option. Magic Johnson was a number 2 option. Okay? Think about what I'm saying. Magic Johnson was a number 2 option. The number 1 option was Cap. Okay? Scottie Pippen was a number 2 option. All right? So here's the thing. Here's the other thing, too, that I want to say about Randle real quick, and then I'm going to move on to number 2. Right?
Randle's effort this season has been inconsistent. Julius Randle's effort defensively, offensively has been inconsistent, up and down. I saw nights where he guarded KD like a good defender, and then I saw other nights where dudes blew past and went in for a layup, and he just like shrugged his shoulder, like I'm not engaged. Yeah. So, all right. So Randle's regression was number 1, right? All right, here's number 2, and here's y'all. Here is the fan favorite. Here is the fan favorite. Y'all couldn't wait till I got to number 2. Right? Because I've been hearing it all year. I've been hearing it all year long. Trust me. Here's number 2. Right? Tom Thibodeau had a bad season. Tom Thibodeau had a terrible season. It's the reason why this season is bad, because of Tom Thibodeau. Right? And so what it is I'm not getting ready to. So I cut Julius Randle some bail, right? I cut Julius Randle some slack for being played outside of his role, right? Julius Randle was outside of his role, and people in different roles all year long is reason number 6, but it didn't make the cut because the 5 that I got are super juicy. People playing outside of their role was number 6. Right? It's number 6, but it's a top 5, so it didn't make the cut. Because people have been playing outside of their roles, miscast all season. But by whom? Y'all like how I used that prepositional phrase just now. By whom? Who is the culprit? Who called ISO 40 times a game? Who called a pick and roll where the only people moving in the pick and roll are the is the pick guy is the ball handler and the roller? Who does that in the NBA? Where you call a pick and roll and the only movement in that offense, in that play, is the ball handler and the screener. Tibbs. Tom Thibodeau had a very, very, very bad season. And he had a bad game last night. He got outcoached last night. Tom Thibodeau got outcoached last night by a dude 10 years younger than him. So here's the thing. Here's the thing with Tibbs. And listen, I'm not the average Knicks fan, right? I understand offensive philosophies and I understand defensive philosophies, right? Because I'm a basketball nerd. When I'm not hanging out with y'all, I watch stuff on YouTube. I read books.
I'm experienced. I coached. I understand offensive philosophies and principles, and I understand defensive philosophies and principles. And they're not the same. They're not the same. Like, you can have a defensive philosophy, which is say a philosophy would be high pressure man to man is your defensive philosophy, right? But then you got to teach the guys certain principles in that philosophy, right? Right. Like, you got to have, like, in a high pressure man to man, you got to keep your shoulders within the other guy's shoulders or frame, right? When he turn, you turn, right? All this stuff, right? And then in other philosophies, you take half the body, you know what I'm saying, and then you keep the other side hand free so that you can play passing lanes. All these different defensive things, right? Tibbs likes to mix both together. And what happens is people, when they think about Tom Thibodeau's defense, all they hear is buzzwords like ice pick and roll and all that stuff. But what you have to look at is what his philosophy is and the game inside the game, right? The game inside the game, right? Right? For those that follow football, there is a game being played by the quarterback in the pocket and the free safety. Right, the quarterback is zoning. The quarterback is trying to get the safety out of the middle of the field, so he'll pump fake over here, or he'll stare down something over there to try to get the safety to move. That's the game inside the game, right? But Tibbs, has been losing the game inside the game all year, right? Now, I don't know if it's exclusively because of personnel or philosophy or talent or direction, but Tibbs has been losing the game inside the game all year, right? All year long, he's been losing. And so while you don't want to just point that out and say, hey, let's bash Tibbs for 4 hours, you want to say, listen, he tried this, it didn't work because Kemba's too small. And Kemba doesn't have dexterity, agility. Kemba Walker's not dexterous. So if a guard gets Kemba going in one direction and changes direction, Kemba's out of the play. Knees won't allow it. Frustrates Tibbs. Frustrated me. Right? But here's the thing about Tibbs. Right? Here's the thing to why Tibbs is reason number 2. Right? The reason why Tibbs had a bad year. Historically, Tom Thibodeau depends on bucket getters to carry a vanilla offense. Right? And all year, like when we've been here rocking, none of y'all have been really pointing to that. That's something I want to talk to. When we talk about offense and Tibbs, we say random stuff like we need to run more such and such. But what we don't get is everywhere Tibbs has gone, he has had certified bucket getters that can carry a vanilla offense. It is what it is. He had Andrew Wiggins and Karl-Anthony Towns in Minnesota that could carry a vanilla offense. He ain't got to do nothing spectacular on offense because he had 2 dudes that were the number 1 pick that could go get a bucket anytime he felt like it. And were they winning games? No, not really. Not really. But you can't point to a Tibbs offense then and say, hey, listen, that offense they ran, that motion continuity offense they ran, that triangle that they ran, that double post that they ran, you know what I'm saying? That I don't want to say pick and roll because pick and roll is like Jordan's. There's so many versions of it that when you say pick and roll, like y'all, when y'all say pick and roll, we need to specify like what it is, like which one you talking about. Are you talking about, a 1-5 pick and roll, 1-4? You talking about 2 screeners? You talking about Spanish pick and roll? It's like It's like burgers. You can get them in so many different flavors that just by saying pick and roll don't really mean nothing. You know, because there's so many different versions of it. It's like a TV show. You know, you get so many different types of TV shows. You're like, yo, I'm gonna watch a TV show. Well, what show are you watching? That's like the pick and roll. Like when y'all say pick and roll, like y'all say, man, we need to run more pick and roll. Well, what version of the pick and roll do you want to? It's not as simple as ball handler, and you know, it's what place on the floor are you? Do you run it from the top of the key? Do you run it from the wing? Do you run a side pick and roll? Right? If you run a side pick and roll, why are you running it from the side? Is the athlete that's attacking the rim that good? And if he's that good, why don't you let him ISO some instead of running a side pick and roll? If the athlete that's going to be the slasher is that good athletically, why not let him ISO a little bit? Like Cam Reddish. Let him go for what he know. Instead of running the side pick and roll, how about you ISO Cam on one side like you used to do Melo and just let Cam attack one defender? Right? But anyway, Tibbs had a bad year, right? Tibbs had a bad year offensively, right? Defensively, you can tell they came into camp with a plan to funnel everything into the center of the defense, right? Everything funneled towards Mitch, right, on certain things. And the ice pick and roll, when teams get in the pick and roll, when teams get into the pick and roll, then you force everything to either sideline. But you can't ice the pick and roll if there is no pick and roll on offense, right? So what I'm trying to get to is everybody, all year long, we have been making these points, and some of the points were spot on about Tibbs, and then some of them we just needed more data. Like the defense, you can't just say, when I ask you what the defensive philosophy is, you just can't say ice pick and roll. Because when the team comes down and run triangle, you can't ice the pick and roll because there is no pick and roll, right? And Tibbs, Tibbs had a bad year, right? In terms of defense. He got better over time by playing young guys, but I'm going to get to that too. So Tibbs got, the defense got better over time, right? Because what happened is the interior of the defense got better, right? The interior of the defense got better. Come to find out, Mitchell Robinson can stay healthy. And Mitchell Robinson is a deterrent down low, right? And come to find out, Julius Randle, when he wants to or feels like it, can play good perimeter and interior defense when he wants to, when he's motivated, right? So here's the other thing I want to get to too, right? Tibbs didn't play the kids as early as he should have. And somewhere there are 100 Knicks fans watching this joint, standing up and clapping. Yay! Uncle Freezie finally got it. Yeah. So the thing is, I always believed from day one that Tom Thibodeau wanted to play these kids. That's my belief. That Tibbs wanted to play these kids. But since the front office brought in so many vets, he had to acquiesce to the playing of the veterans. And here's my proof for this thing. The first opportunity Tom Thibodeau got to snatch Kemba Walker out of the lineup, he did it. The first chance he got to snatch Kemba Walker, he did it. And he did it in a cold, almost robotic way. He was like, we feel like Kemba's a starter, but we're taking him out of the rotation. He didn't want Kemba Walker in the first place. You do that, you do stuff like that when you didn't want him to be there and you were forced. Right? Right? At the beginning of the season, he benched Evan Fournier in the fourth quarters. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that? Remember when he used to bench Evan Fournier in the fourth quarter? Yeah. All right, here's the other thing too. Here's my third thing to playing the kids, right? When Kimba was benched, Derrick Rose's ankle was clicky, and Rose was about to go out for ankle surgery. The Knicks the front office could have signed a veteran point guard. And they didn't. They moved a young player into that role. Now, did Quickly suck? Yes, he sucked. Yes, he sucked. He played like a dog. But Tibbs kept playing him anyway. Tibbs kept playing him anyway. Would not, listen, Tibbs would not put a veteran in that Emmanuel Quickly backup point guard role. Right? He would not. Tibbs played Quickly. No pun intended. Right? Tibbs played Quickly. No pun intended. Right? Which leads me to believe that Tibbs, in his heart, always wanted to play the kids. Now, am I opposed to the veterans? I don't care. All I want to do is win. Every time we come on here, y'all ask, well, Uncle Freezie, what do you want? I want championships. Now, how about that? Y'all, if the Knicks can give me that, I'll be satisfied. Right? If the Knicks can give me that, I'll be satisfied. Here's one other thing too that Tibbs did, and I'll give him credit, but I'm also giving him blame at the same time. Tibbs allowed certain players to play through mistakes and snatch other players out of the game immediately. If you sneezed in a non-sneezing zone, Tibbs will have your replacement at the table. Go get him! Right? But he let Emmanuel Quickly go all season and RJ Barrett play through mistakes all season and didn't allow. He let Quentin Grimes, RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly play through mistakes all season once they got into rotation. But Jericho Sims and Obi Toppin, if they fought it, he was snatching them out the game. If they drunk water and they should have been drinking Gatorade, Tibbs snatched them. Right? Now, I understand everybody learns differently. And I also understand that some of y'all think I'm pivoting, right, on some stuff. I'm not pivoting on some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Behind the scenes, and to a few of y'all in the chat. Y'all know I'm speaking to points that I have been trying to say all year, but when we get in the video chat, when there's a bunch of us in the video chat, I can't expound on these things. Like right now, I've been speaking to you for 48 minutes, right? And when we put people in the video chat, I don't get to expound on these thoughts that I have because there are so many different people wanting to have their say, right? So I hold certain info until I get the opportunity to explain what it is that I'm thinking and saying thoroughly, right? So I'm not pivoting. I do think Randle was in over his head, right? I do think Tibbs had a bad year, a down year where he got outcoached, right? But I don't think it's all Randle's fault. I think Randle was playing outside of his role or the role he should have been in, right? I think I don't blame Randle at all let me say that. I don't blame Randle's production at all because he was miscast. Julius Randle is not a Giannis or a LeBron or a Donovan Mitchell, but he's put into a position like those guys. Y'all feel me? Julius Randle is not a Joel Embiid, but he is put into a position like a Joel Embiid. Julius Randle is not a De'Aaron Fox. He's not a Luka. Okay? Right? Julius Randle is not a Jason Tatum. But he was put in that position on this team to be that without help. Right? So getting back to Tibbs, because Tibbs put Randle in that role, and he didn't have no other choice, right? But at the same time, how do you go to an all-star and say, hey, all-star, I'm taking you out of that number one option role and putting R.J. Barrett in it? R.J. Barrett's 20. How do you go to an all-star and say, hey, you're not the number one guy anymore. It's R.J. Barrett, and he's 20 years old. I'm talking about at the time. At the time, y'all. At the time. I understand that R.J. Barrett's 21 right now, but I'm talking about how do you do it back then? Right? So, yes, Julius Randle was miscast. Yes, he was in an improper role. It's Tom Thibodeau's fault. But what other card did Tom Thibodeau have to play? It's a lot of politics in this game. The NBA is just not all about verticals and jump shots. It's about politics too, right? And I know fans don't want to hear the politics view. They don't. I know you guys don't want to hear like, well, such and such has more tenure. And you're like, well, what does that mean if such and such is more productive? No, it's not how it works. Right. Tibbs had a bad year. His defense got better over the course of the year because he started playing the kids. And you can look at that one or two ways. Like finally, when Tibbs finally got these veterans out the way, he can get back to being the mad scientist that he is, creating Tibbites. Or if you're on the other side and you feel like Tibbs hate kids, then your argument would be, well, all the guys were gone. He had to play them because of injuries. That's your take. My take on it is different. I saw Tibbs take that Chicago team full of young people, you know what I'm saying, to the playoffs. I saw him take that young team in Minnesota, right, and do something with it. I saw Tibbs come here and play a bunch of young guys. A bunch of young guys, man. A bunch of young guys, right? Tibbs played RJ almost a league high in minutes his first year here. He played quickly a bunch of minutes, right? This year, Grimes is in the rotation, right? The only player that we feel like is getting an unfair shake is Miles McBride. He's the only one. But the thing about it is the point guard position is the hardest position in basketball to learn. If you're not a scorer, if your upside is not as a scorer at point guard, then your learning curve is steep because you're not going to get a bunch of minutes because you don't have a skill that outweighs your mistakes. And that's why Miles McBride didn't get a ton of minutes. If Miles McBride could be a 10 points per game scorer, then Miles McBride would be getting heavy minutes. You feel me? Because he's gonna make mistakes because he's young. Young people make mistakes, man. They do. Young people make mistakes. And you know what? Old people make mistakes too. Humans, we make mistakes when we encounter things that are unfamiliar. When we encounter things that are unfamiliar to us, we may make a mistake. And we call it, the mistake that we make, we call it one to grow on. Tibbs said, if either you're winning or you're learning. That's as simple as either you're winning or you're learning. That's what Tibbs called it. I don't call it that. I call it one to grow on. Right? So I'll move along from Tibbs real quick to get to number 3. All right. So number 3 is a very unpopular joint, but I'm going to say it anyway. The front office destroyed the team chemistry. The front office destroyed team chemistry. Off rip, the first opportunity they got, they destroyed the. Let me Let me tell you how the front office destroyed team chemistry. Last season at the trade deadline, they traded away Austin Rivers and Ignas Brazdeikis and brought in two names that y'all probably have forgotten about. They brought in Vincent Poirier, who was a Euro big with upside in rebounding and rim protection. He was 27, something like that at the time. They also brought in, excuse me, they also brought in Terrence Ferguson, right? A young, bouncy, athletic wing defender that couldn't shoot, right? We know Terrence Ferguson can't shoot. He, in Oklahoma City, he was supposed to be the next Andre Robertson or the next Thabo Cephalosha. That's what he was supposed to be in OKC. The Knicks get him. They cut Poirier and Ferguson the same day. Right? They cut those two. They cut an athletic wing player. And they cut a stout 7 foot tall big that had upside and rebounding and rim protection. Not a shot blocker. Now, I'm not saying he was a shot blocker. I'm just saying that he prevented a lot of shots at the rim and would rebound to close out possessions. Right? They cut those two guys and brought in a dude named Norvel Pelle. They brought in a dude named Norvel Pelle. Norvel Pelle sounds like designer jeans. Let me get a pair of them Norvel Pelles, please. 38. Let me get size 38, 32 Norvel Pelles. And they can be like, man, Uncle Freezie, you know good and doggone well you don't wear no 38. In my mind, I do. Yeah. And so the Norvel Pelle thing bothered me because you cut two things that you needed. You needed an athletic wing defender, right? You needed an athletic wing defender for depth because at the time it was Burks, Bullock, RJ. You knew you wasn't going to play Knox. Y'all know that he wasn't going to play Knox. But you brought in Norvel Pelle. Listen to this, y'all. You paid Norvel Pelle more money than you paid Mitchell Robinson all year. You paid Norvel Pelle a contract that paid him more money than you paid Mitchell Robinson, your starter, all season. And y'all tell me how y'all would feel about that. Salute, y'all. Think about this. You worked all year up to September. Right? Just follow me with this example. So you worked all year up to September, right? Right? You're going to be there through December. But they bring in a guy in October to do a third of what you do and pay him the same money as what you made all year. And tell me how you would feel as a person. How would you work 12 months, somebody come in and work 3 months doing a third of the work and make the same amount of money as you? And tell me how you would feel if you're Mitchell Robinson. Tell me how you would feel if you're RJ Barrett looking at how they do Mitchell Robinson. Tell me how you would feel if you are Emmanuel Quickly looking at how they do Mitchell Robinson. And tell me what that does. Tell me what that does to team chemistry. And then at the beginning of the season, you don't offer Mitch an extension, but you bring in a dude named Luka Šamanić and pay him to play in the G League and pay him more money than you pay your starting center. And tell me how you would think. Tell me how you think a guy like Alec Burks feels about that. Wait a minute, you bringing in a random guy here, G League, on a two-way. He on a two-way making more than our starting center? I know people are like, this is a business, right? But in business, you still deal with people. In business, you still deal with people. Trust me, I know this thing. Uncle Freezie used to be, without the beard and all this stuff, Uncle Freezie used to be the fixer, right? The company made a boo-boo here. Listen, Uncle Freezie, take them out to dinner and explain to them the company still wants them to be such and such. Do your Uncle Freezie thing, Uncle Freezie. And if you get them, we'll give you a bonus. We'll throw a little bit your way. I'm like, well, how much are you throwing my way? Man, you don't. We always take care of you. Yeah, but I need to know before I go. We'll yeah, it'll be 4 figures something. Okay, well, good. I'll go. Yeah, I used to be the fixer. Company bought something up with a client. Hey, Uncle Freezie, just don't talk business. Just go fix it. Let them know that we are still cool. We just made a mistake. Okay, I'll do it in my Uncle Freezie way. And don't you judge me or criticize how I do it. As long as I'm bringing them back to the table because they are away from the table. You want me to bring them back to the table? Yes. Okay, well, I will bring them back to the table. Don't criticize how I do it. But I'll do it. All right? So the thing is, you bring in all these guys and pay them more money for Mitch, and they don't even start. One of them didn't even play. You paid Nerlens Noel $9 million to do what? And you paid Mitchell Robinson 1.5. Lucas Shamanich made 1.8, something like that. Whatever the number is, it's ridiculous. And so all these things lead to the front office destroying the team chemistry. Petty stuff. Like Julius Randle made the All-Star team. Right? Julius Randle. And listen, whether you agree with it or not, that's a fact. Julius Randle made the All-Star team, whatever. We're not going to argue over that. We're not going to argue over facts because that's a fact. And then when it comes time for a player to represent the team in the New Jersey, y'all picked a dude that was jettisoned twice in the same offseason. Y'all picked Kemba Walker to represent the Knicks, and Kemba Walker ain't did diddly poo for the Knicks. Yet, he is the one representing the Knicks around the league in the Knicks New Jerseys. Not your franchise player, RJ Barrett. Not your all-star Julius Randle. But Kemba freaking Walker? Kemba Walker? If you RJ Barrett, how do you feel about that? I was with this team when we made the playoffs. Kemba Walker was in Boston. If you Julius Randle, how do you feel about that? Man, I represented the Knicks in the All-Star game. The front office destroyed team chemistry. And the thing that really, really, really set Randle off and set the Knicks off is you didn't bring back either Bullock or Elfrid Payton. Right? Now, y'all know I'm not a fan of Elfrid Payton. Right? I'm not a fan of Elfrid Payton. Right? I'm just not. Ever since I saw him shove Jay Crowder when Jay Crowder was in the air, I think that was a Elfrid Payton, you lucky I'm not Jay Crowder. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. The man was in the air on a jump shot, and you're going to push him out of the air? And then back up. Those were Julius Randle's boys. Those guys helped Julius Randle get to the All-Star game. and you brought back neither. Julius Randle's best two buds on the team, you let them walk out the door. Those are Julius Randle's best two buds on the team. And listen, this ain't love connection. This ain't the dating game. I don't put people together. Like, I ain't trying to, but if you recognize Randle wanted these two dudes, how about at least bring one of them back? Really? Bring one of them back, man. Y'all pinching pennies that hard. Y'all pinching pennies that hard that you can't bring one of them dudes back? Yeah, I know I don't like Alfred Payton, but if they would have brought Alfred Payton back just to keep Randle a little bit happy, okay. And come to find out, we needed a point guard anyway. The front office destroyed team chemistry, right? And I know all this sounds like innuendo and side talk, whispers in the dark, all that stuff. Tinfoil hat, X-Files, where's Fox Mulder? Fox Mulder on the case with the conspiracy stuff. I know it sounds like that, right? But listen, little things mean a lot, right? Little things mean a lot. Like, listen, watch this. I'm gonna do a little thing real quick. Yo, shout out to G Robinson. Shout out to D Nice. What's good? Shout out to Mike Boy. Right? That's a little thing. Right? Those are little things, right? But those are little things that we can do. Little things mean a lot. Right? You ain't have to bring back Peyton. You could have brought back Bullock. Like, watch this. I'm gonna do something little. Shout out to Danny Seven. Danny Seven's in the building. What's good? That's a little thing. And to some of us, that means a lot. Like when I see y'all say, when I see y'all say salute Freezie in the chat, that's something little to y'all. That mean a lot to me. Like when Brooklyn Buddha busts in the building and say salute Freezie, right? That's a little thing to him, but that mean a lot to me. You feel me? Hey, Thomas Shepard, what's good? Thomas Shepard just shouted me out in the chat. That's a little thing to Thomas Shepard. That mean a lot to me, though. And I know y'all say, well, you got to grow up, Uncle Freezie. You can't be a kid forever. So you telling me bringing in Wayne Selden and Richie whatever, Denzel Valentine, cutting them, that dead money being on your cap was not worth Reggie Bullock? Dead money on your salary cap was not worth team chemistry. The coolest was good. And so what I'm getting at with y'all is not saying that keeping, say, a Theo Pinson, not keeping a Theo Pinson ruined the season. What I'm saying is, bro, come on. Team Kim, y'all ain't never seen Hoosiers? You ain't never seen Hoosiers? Y'all ain't never seen Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison running the route tree before a game? Y'all ain't never seen the Harlem Globetrotters? That's chemistry. That's chemistry, man. All right. So I got two more I'm going to get into real quick, right? And I'm going to make these quick so I can open up the chat and so that I can check on Chuck and them. One of the reasons why we had a bad season is, number 4, the kids had to learn on the job. Right? And I know what y'all about to say. Well, we could still win with the kids. Nah, man. No, don't do this. Don't do this. You don't bust into a league and just take it over. There's a learning process for everybody that comes into this league. Everybody. There's a learning process for everybody that comes into this league. Right? And so our kids had to learn on the fly. Did some of that lead to losses? Maybe. Did some of that lead to like up and down minutes, in and out of the rotation, getting screamed at by Dibs? Yes. Do I think these kids will be better for it though? Yes. Do I think these kids will be something going into next season? Yes. And I know what y'all want to say is I knew it. Look at this. That dude Fresh says, Memphis did it? Yeah. We don't have a Ja Morant or a Jaren Jackson. We don't. So our kid, listen, everybody's not going to be valedictorian, right? But does that mean your kid can't go to college? No. Everybody's not going to be the valedictorian, the salutatorian. But there's 1,000 other kids in that class that are going to go to college. And maybe in the long run, they'll be better than the valedictorian and the salutatorian. Maybe, possibly, right? Possibly. So what I'm getting at is there's a learning curve for all the young guys, RJ included. Some people's learning curve is steep, like Miles McBride. His learning curve is key. Y'all got me. Hey, Mo, can I have something to drink? I'm in here sounding like Dutta Man. I sound like a dog that ate peanut butter. You ever heard a dog eat peanut butter? That's what I sound like right now. So anyway, what I'm getting at is some young players' learning curve is steeper than others. Jericho Sims' learning curve is steep. Miles McBride's learning curve is steep, right? RJ Barrett, not so much, not as steep. Thank you. You want to be on camera? Okay. Yeah, I'm glad you ain't calm. Y'all getting me in trouble. Y'all getting me in trouble with the boss. So, but anyway, what I'm getting at is Quentin Grimes, who I called a ham sandwich intentionally during the year. Quentin Grimes is going to be a very good NBA player, right? Just temper your expectations for Quentin Grimes. Allow him the time to become the best version of himself. Ron from Still Knicks fans, stop calling him Klay Thompson. Right? Calm down. Ron is like, yo, Ron, Still Knicks fans. I call him out because I like him. Ew, Mocha, this water don't taste like nothing. But because it's water, right? And it's supposed to taste like nothing, right? Okay. So what I'm getting at is calm down on Grimes. It's the reason why I said he a ham sandwich. Not because I don't think he's going to be a good player. I'm saying calm down on the hefty expectations for our young players. Let's just allow them to be good players first. Can we do that? Can we allow them to just be good players first? Right? How about we allow them to be NBA players, and then decent NBA players, and then good NBA players, and then maybe one day, if it's in the cards, they'll be great NBA players. Let's do that. Let's not skip from embryo to old man. Let's not do that. That's too. We go too far too fast. I think that was a movie, right? Too far too fast. Well, like cars and stuff racing. Too far too fast, featuring Vin Diesel. So playing the kids hurt our season, so to speak, because it hurt us in the short term. It's like surgery. It hurt us in the short term to help us in the long term. So the bumps and bruises that these kids took this season will help us next season. Right? So now that we know Grimes is a player, we don't need a Reggie Bullock next season, right? We don't need a Reggie Bullock next season because we have a Quentin Grimes. And I know some people are going to disagree. They're going to like, man, Uncle Freezie, I disagree. And then I'm like, well, why do you disagree? Grimes is he better than Reggie Bullock. Okay. I never said he wasn't better than Reggie Bullock or never will be way better than Reggie Bullock. What I'm saying is the role that Reggie Bullock played can be filled by Quentin Grimes. I know a lot of y'all gonna disagree. Yeah, I disagree because Grimes is better than Bullock. Okay, so what? So what? Grimes is better than Bullock. So what? That's what you want, right? That's what we all want. Is that not what we want? Do we not want Grimes to be better than Bullock? That's what we all want, right? That's what we all want. We want Grimes to be better than Bullock. And that was my point. That now that Grimes has gone through the bumps and bruises, right? Next year, he will be more impactful than Reggie Bullock was his 2 seasons here. Right? That's what we all want, right? So I mentioned that the kids had to learn, right? So the kids had to learn is part of the reason why the season didn't go as expected. But so what? If you have to sacrifice a season in order for the kids to get better, why not have it be this one? So going forward, these kids are what's the word I'm looking for? These words. Golly, man, I need to get a snack or something. I've been talking for 78 straight minutes, right? I probably need to go get some cucumber slices or something, man. You know what I'm saying? But anyway. DSJ was good. And so here's the thing. This is the last one. Point number 5. Point number 5. The Eastern Conference got a lot better, and we didn't. Point number 5 is the Eastern Conference got a lot better, and we didn't. We may have gotten a little better, but the Eastern Conference, Charlotte, Washington, Atlanta, Cleveland, Boston, Toronto, a lot of these teams got a lot better. And the Knicks got marginally better. The East got a lot better, and the Knicks signed Kemba Walker. The Cleveland Cavaliers drafted Evan Mobley, and the Knicks signed Kemba Walker. I'm just saying. So that's all I got. I'm not going to get too much more into that. I'm going to go ahead and throw this link in the chat. Yo, the Cleveland Cavaliers drafted Evan Mobley and we signed Evan Fournier. That's a fair trade. All right, so I just put the link in the chat, and I need to check on Chuck and the guys doing vibes and stuff. I'm multitasking, right? I'm multitasking. All right, let me do something real quick. I'm gonna check on them. I'll be right back, okay? Be back in like 30 seconds, 15 seconds, 10 seconds. Hey, hold on. Let me bring in my guy. Hey, Ron, I'm gonna be right back, okay?
Yeah, man.
Hey, you on? Say something.
Oh man, it's been a while, man. It's been a while. You know what I mean? What's going on, Knicks family? What's going on, peoples? Hey, so I'm at the controls this morning. You know what I mean? Hey, good to be in the building, but it ain't good to be a Knicks fan right now. You heard me? We struggling. We struggling, man. We struggling. So I'm gonna tell y'all how I feel. Julius Randle, Freezie, I heard everything you said, but Julius Randle got to take ownership. You got to recognize, man. All this running your mouth with the referees, always want to fight the referees, man. If you show that much fight on the court, we'd be a better team. But instead, you want to fight the refs. You want to slap your own players' hands out the way. You want to argue with the coaches. Julius Randle got to go, man. Got to go. He has to go ASAP. And that's my word on it. When it comes to Julius Randle, front office, major mistake. Major mistake. They should have never been brought here. So it is what it is. Y'all tell me how y'all feel about it. Okay.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. There we go. All right.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you something I saw. Something I saw, Freezie. Yesterday watching that game, man. It's painful to watch. This team don't have a closer. Right. Don't come to me talking about Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose need to be gone too. He needs to be gone, and I love Derrick Rose, but his time is up. That front office, I agree with you 100%. The front office made a mistake, man. They made a major mistake. They really tore this team up. And something I was thinking about, and this is what really gets on my nerves. And I doubt I'm gonna watch the Knicks game next year. Just really. When I heard they made a decision to bring Tom Thibodeau back. Right. Now answer this. We in the business of sports. We in the business of performing, right? Mm-hmm. At the end of the season, don't they bring these players and coaches in for end of the season review of their performance?
Right.
So what performance you saw that merit you saying this guy is coming back as your coach?
Nothing.
Exactly. So that's some more front office malpractice on their part, man. So when I look at what's going on, it's really a major mistake, and I agree with you 100%. The East got better, the Knicks didn't get better. You know what I mean? We've been talking about this for a while, but I tell you this. Tom Thibodeau come back next year, I'm not watching a Knicks game, man. I'm boycotting. I'm telling y'all right now. I don't care who else don't boycott. I'm boycotting, and I look at the headlines where it says, I'd rather read the paper and read it, go read on the internet than to watch the Knicks next year. I can't watch this, man. I can't do it again. I got better things I can do with my time than to waste my time watching Tom Thibodeau. And the thing about Tom, yesterday that got on my nerves so bad, he refused to stay with what's working. That young core brought us back in that game.
Yeah.
And what did you do? You switched right back to the guys who put you in the hole. And what them guys do when they come in, turn the ball over.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying this morning, man, and it's a lot to peel back from that thing, and I agree 100%, but not playing them young guys soon enough. But to look at all that's went on, and you had a guy that ran to the front office, ran to Dolan, and told him you need to fire this guy, but then now you pivot and saying this guy should be back here next year before the end of the season, before you can sit down and do at the end of the season review with this guy, like you bring in the players too, that is beyond front office malpractice. And I'm gonna tell you this: Leon Rose is gonna let Tom Thibodeau get him fired, and both of them gonna be out of New York together. And that's my word on it.
Okay. Gentlemen?
Yeah, I agree. I just want to talk to Julius Randle, man, the man, and be like, yo, what's up with you? Gobert ain't do nothing to you. Why you acting like that? Just you know what I mean? Take your L, walk away, take good game, keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't got to do all the extra stuff. And Gobert not even like that. So why are you even trying to make him seem like, you know what I mean? Like, it's certain people you don't get credit for trying to bully. It's always that one bully that always trying to bully somebody that's not like that. You do all the extra for what? It's embarrassing.
Yeah, it is. And Kendall, on that point, and salute everybody. Good morning to everyone.
What's good?
Good morning,
What's going on? But I could say, just to do that, but Randall's been doing this all season long. The extra activities at the end of the game. Yeah, Gobert didn't do anything. He patted him on the back, and then he's just swiping his hand away. He did it with Toppin walking off the court. Why do you got to do that? Take the loss, like you just said. Don't be a sore loser, and stop it. You had an awful game. You know, they're doing these antics. This is what I've been talking about all along. This is distressing. This is not good for the locker room. If us moving forward and we have to make our fixes with the front office, it's a perfect storm of problems with this. The front office, the players, and the coach. You got three major problems here because the players don't fit. You put it in the circle and the square, it doesn't work. Glaring problems: Burks, Randle, and Fournier. Fournier is overpaid to just sit him off the bench and come off the bench and shoot threes. That's what you need him to do, not as a starter.
Okay.
Burks should be starting at the point with his old man socks running around the court. I can't do that.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work. Don't work. And Randall's antics, he's been doing it all season long. This is why I can't with that man anymore. I can't watch this crap he's doing. What is he doing at the end of the game? It's embarrassing. Constant embarrassment that he's doing this year. Stop it. Stop being a big overgrown baby, dude. You're not going to change. He's not going to change his ways, Freezie, the way he acts like this. He's not. How are you going to tell? He's just got such an ego, this guy. But I am so sick. It's so pathetic. But we got a perfect storm of problems here. All those three things. Big time. The front office, the coach, and the players that we have on the court that are representing our franchise here. That we're long pain, suffering Knicks fans. So,
hey, why you lump me in with Randall, bro? I don't shoot when I'm guarded by three people, bro.
Randall need Jay Boogie to talk to. Yo, Jay Boogie, you gotta talk to Randall. Just mano a mano, just talk to him.
I'm gonna talk to him Wednesday. I'm gonna talk to him Wednesday.
Oh yeah,
I'll be there. I'll be right behind him. That's the only
send
time.
them my love.
They might kick me out of the Charlotte Hornet gym. You know? But be honest with you, stop stressing yourself out about the squad, man. Stop watching the game. I was right yesterday. Is you crazy? I ain't gonna continue letting these guys, use my agenda, my mind thoughts, and everything about what they're going. Can't wait for the season to be over with. Whether we point shaving or not, just end. I don't care what spot we in. The fifth seed, the 12th seed, just end the season and let me start all over. Because it has been a disaster all year long. Julius, you fooled us. You tricked us. I was on the block and you came through, you tricked me. You know what I'm saying? You got your money up, and you was not made out to what you were supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? I can't say that. Tom don't have a clue with what he's doing.
No way.
What he's doing. He don't know if he want to stay or if he want to go. He's in between. And the only one that's being ducked around out of this whole thing, and more importantly, he needs to get up out of here, is Leon Rose. Because I can't put it on everybody else when, what 50 say? You did that shit. Even if they didn't say you did it, you did it. You know what I'm saying? You ain't doing, you get caught, you did it. Leon, you did this right here, man. You brought all this and put all this together, man.
Facts. Me trying to point
Good
fingers.
morning to all you great men. Good morning to another blissful morning, another beautiful Monday, another, day of life that the great one above us has touched our eyelids and gave us health and strength. Got us all safety. Shout out to the chat, the most loyalist people it is in the world. Blessings to all you. I hope you all healthy and safe, man, at this point in time of life. You know what I'm saying? Just always remember, you're your own roadblock. Proceed on to go get your dreams, please. You dream at night, wake up, turn them into your reality. Don't just dream about them and go tell somebody I had a dream last night. Nah, make it into a reality, please, man.
Right. Yeah, man. So I still think Julius Randle is miscast. Right?
Yes, that means he shouldn't be here. They shouldn't have hired him. Like,
yeah, but he could be miscast. But if you're the leader, you're still the leader. I mean, it doesn't matter if you miscast. If you're the leader, you're the leader. You got to do the job. Just like you said before. If I'm not qualified to be the leader and they give me the leader position, I got to do it. And my attitude got to change regardless of what the situation is. I can't be like if I worked at McDonald's and I was a crew member and then I become the manager. I can't be yelling at the customers because every time I get mad and want to be swiping at them and all that. Every time I don't agree with them, I can't do that.
Right, but what I meant by miscast though is the total thing. Like, why put Randle in a leadership role when he has never shown anybody anywhere that he's a leader?
Well, that's what the coach puts him in. He puts him in that role as he's the team leader. Goes to him. They talk on the sideline. Like, they're lock in step.
Right. He's our best player, so you have to give the role.
You're right. Why put you in that position as a leader role? But I got a question for you, Julie. And may the great one continue to rest in heaven. But what did Kobe rub off on you, man? What did Anthony Davis rub off on you, man? You was behind some guys that you're supposed to follow and learn how to be a role model inside of a team that one day that you'll become a leader of.
Right.
What you learning from these guys?
That's right.
I don't understand. What was you learning? Because you never been a number one. You slight number two. So you had to be asking questions and questions and questions just in case your time like now has become into a reality. So what has rubbed off onto you, man?
Nothing, Jimmy. Nothing.
So why did you waste them guys' time? Why did you waste Kobe's conversations to you? Why did you waste Anthony Davis conversations to you? Rondo's conversations to you? And then come over here and ain't got nothing to say to nobody. It was in the way, man.
Listen, one more guy, Jay Boogie. Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday was on that squad. He wasted his time too.
You know how many guys you know how many people in the NBA wish they could have been on a Kobe team to learn from?
Preach.
To listen to watch. You was there in his last game when he went bonkers. You was there all season. He helped you on how to get back. Them guys helped you and told you what you need to do to get back after you broke your foot and all that. Them guys, they all been through all that type stuff. They learned you up. And you come over here and shut down.
Right. He's just I'm not the thing with Randle, man. Hey, Randle, so sliced cucumbers are delicious, bro. I just want listen. If y'all don't eat sliced cucumbers, man, y'all are missing something.
Make it in a salad. That sounds nice. I don't like them raw like that.
Yeah, I gotta have them.
What you got on them?
Black pepper and vinegar.
That's good.
That's natural.
All right.
Yeah. You thought I was gonna put cheese on it? Bacon? Nah, man.
Some grating cheese.
Yeah, nah, man. Just trying to do the healthy thing. But the thing with Randle is to me, in my opinion, Randle is a very good NBA player. He's not a leader. Right.
He's not a smart player.
Right.
Freezer, that says a lot. And hey, just real quick, I want to say shout out to you. I know it's been a minute. Like I said, last time I was on, pretty much before the other time, Moby Dick was still the sardine. Shout out to the panel. Shout out to the chat. Brother. Hey, I'd say this real quick regarding, I wanted to say, because your 5 topics were right on point. I don't want to go off because we've talked about Randle and his antics, and I watch the game now to see whenever one of the rookies or a guy that doesn't get a lot of playing time get a chance to play. That's why I've been watching it. The thought of even trying to make the play in, I'm like, why? Why would you be wasting all that time shifting gears? You would be in a better position if you would have been playing Sims early in the season. If you would have been playing Deuce early in the season. You can't give Tibbs a lot of credit for a lot of the things he's done, even with Grimes. And I love Grimes, but that was due to Rona and injuries. The reason they got in. Other than that, he'd been doing the same thing: wash, rinse, repeat. Wash, rinse, repeat. Far as Randle, as the conversation was going, you can't expect somebody to do something that has never done it on the level. He was never in a leadership role. It's some people are just born with it. Randle was never even exposed to it as in being in that position to take over. He was under good leaders. Shout out to, like I said, I had to follow up on what Boogie was saying. You wasted these cats' time. That's the way he's carrying on and acting is disrespectful to Kobe's legacy. You know what I'm saying? You acting like you the superstar diva on the team, but you regressed. It almost makes me think like, man, did you hustle? Because that was a contract, almost pretty much a contract year when he came out and balled out and did what he did, and had his most improved player year. And those shots he's taking now were the shots he took last season. They were just falling.
Right.
And there's a lot of things to it. And Tibbs, I said it before, Tibbs doesn't put him in players in position to succeed. He's not doing that. You don't put Burks out there at point guard and say, okay, you're the point guard when he's not a true point, when he's not a point guard. Can he spell a little point guard duty? Yeah, he can spell a little point guard duty. Can IQ spell a little point guard duty? Yeah, he can spell. But are they point guards? No. IQ's better off the ball. You have Deuce in the game, but yet he's in the corner, the same spot Kevin Knox has been, the same spot Obi's in. But you got a point guard, we don't know what he can really do. I've seen everybody in the chat, he's not ready or give him more time. We're all over the place. We really can't judge if we don't give him that much time. It's just, and D'Angelo said it best. It's a perfect storm. It's a perfect storm of stuff, man. It's to the point. It's not even. You shouldn't even be really upset. We just need to just take it on the chin and just roll with it. And,
you know who Tibbs is? But you know who Tibbs is? This is for the old timers. Anybody in here 35 and up will know who exactly I'm talking about. Tom Thibodeau is this generation's Buddy Ryan.
Bruh, yes.
And so
yes, he is.
Anybody that watched the Purple People Eaters in the 70s, Buddy Ryan was part of the architect of the Purple People Eaters defense. Mm-hmm. Right?
But Buddy Ball he tried to take it everywhere with him. Buddy Ball. Yeah. And it didn't work. I'm sorry, but Free, I just tell you, as a Saints fan, he brought that to New Orleans, and we were even worse. I think we were even worse than it was when we had
Mara.
His son, when his son took over as defensive coordinator for the Saints, we were even worse than that.
And so the thing is with Buddy was part architect of the Purple People Eaters, right? Teams were interested in Buddy Ryan as head coach, but he failed all the interviews. He went in, he wasn't a good interviewer, right? And so Chicago signed him as a defensive coordinator. And then you saw those defenses under Buddy Ryan in Chicago in 82, 83, 84, 85. You know what I'm saying? All get progressively better, right, under Buddy Ryan until the 85 Bears was the greatest defense that ever lived. Mm-hmm. Even better than the Purple People Eaters, right? But the thing is, when Buddy Ryan got his opportunity to be the head coach, he wouldn't play young players. He
Not
was
at all.
stuck in his defensive schemes. The offense was an afterthought. It's the same thing as Tom Thibodeau is doing right now. Right? Buddy Ryan went playing. Buddy Ryan cut Chris Carter from Eagles training camp.
He sure did.
He cut Chris Carter. Chris Carter is a Hall of Fame receiver. Ironically, in the place where Buddy Ryan got his NFL start in Minnesota. Right? So when you look at Tibbs, don't look at Tibbs as a weirdo. Look at Tom Thibodeau as a product of a certain time that has gone by. Right? Look at Tibbs as that. Now, can he adjust to these times? The jury is still out. Right? I'm gonna say no. Right? Unless you get Tibbs a bona fide point guard or a bona fide bucket getter. Without a Carmelo Anthony, Derrick Rose, Karl Anthony Towns type guy that's going to get you 25 points a game every night.
A healthy Derrick Rose.
Yeah. I'm talking about these guys in their prime.
The key word, healthy.
Yeah. Oh, not this version of Derrick Rose. Definitely not. Not this version of Derrick Rose. Definitely not. But I'm talking about Rose in his prime, pre-injury. If the Knicks don't get Tibbs that, we're going to have the same thing next year. It's as simple as it gets.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I was saying that before. Like, Tibbs is doing the same thing he's always done. Like, so he was coach of the year last year and the scapegoat this year. What's changed? What's changed is the personnel on.
What?
Lost it.
Sorry, I got
Lost on that. Oh, yeah.
Oh, you had a telemarketer to call you, bro?
You guys hear me? Sorry, I had a phone call. But yeah, it's the same personnel.
Hey, they calling you about your truck.
I can't even hear you guys.
Car warranty.
You gotta go out.
Yeah. They calling Keyshawn about his car warranty.
Yeah, you gotta go out and come back in. We get that.
But I mean,
it's just with Tibbs, he's not the right coach for this team. With what we have, there's other coaches that would have fit better. Tibbs should have been on a veteran-centric team, like the team that Woody had when we had those 53 wins. A team full of veterans with a couple of young guys. That's what he needs. He doesn't need to be around because with these young guys, and he's playing. He's relying too much on certain players. When you from what I'm saying, he's not putting players in a position of success. I'm not saying he's a bad coach. He's just not the right coach for this team. You need a team that can work with what you have. We got guys that can't even get on the. He pounded the table, flipped tables, and threw chairs to get them, but you're not getting him in the burn. And even if he's he's not looking at like the greatest, in G League burning it up. But then you get out, you got him sitting in the corner, can't get a rhythm. I don't know. It's kind of mind-boggling. But it's the front office as well. I know Boogie, you said that before about the front office. The front office, man, set us up for failure with the moves they're doing. They being tight. It's like you seen I'm gonna get you, sucker. Chris Rock was in there asking for, he wanted to find out how much a rib was. And he was telling them, and then he asked how much for some soda, and told him to pour it in his hand for 50 cents. That's how our front office is. They're trying to lowball everybody. I get it. You want to say your money's business, but bro, you gotta, scared money don't make money. We got to make the right moves and better in free agency. We shot ourselves in the foot.
Tibbs is a good coach back in the 90s. If it was 1990 through whatever, he's not a good coach for this era right now. He's just not.
Yeah,
and it doesn't fit. The yelling style, all that, this hardcore way he has, it's not around the league as much, but the coaches like him. So that's just what I feel with him.
I mean, if the front office knows the guy, they should put the right personnel that they know that Tom Thibodeau would use to succeed. Like, if you're a front office, you should know that about your coach.
Well, you can't go by relationships, man.
Yeah.
You can't, just because it's your homeboy, you want to look out for your homeboy, but if you know your homeboy ain't right for the job, why put him in that position? Put yourself in that position. Because what the front office has been doing has been looking real stupid on the things that the moves they made.
Well,
I mean,
now they're
he seemed
using
like the right coach last year, right?
yeah. Well,
So what's changed? I think he's
I
doing
don't
the
know.
same thing he did last year.
Yeah, I don't know. I think last year was a kind of a fluke with the empty stadiums, the whole thing, everything. Everybody. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, this front office, like yeah, they're trash. They're novice. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. They don't talk to us. You don't know which direction we're going in as a franchise. We don't know. They get the Cam Reddish deal done, and we don't even know why they even got it because Tibbs didn't even want him. He's like,
Then they were
I don't
gonna
know
trade
what
him too. They was about to trade him.
Yeah, it was supposed to trade him to the. He was going to trade him to the Lakers. I read that report. It was on Bleacher Report and on ESPN. I think it was ESPN and Bleacher Report. The thing is, the reason the deal fell through, the front office kept wanting more draft picks. But we missed out anyway. We needed a point guard and a wing, and it was already duly noted. And we didn't get. We got a point guard that. And shout out to Chuck Allen when he brought this up. Should have known when Boston's old coach, who's now their GM, sent him over to the Thunder. That should say something. And like I said, I was one of those thinking that, hey, it could possibly work. You probably want to be here in New York. Granted, you want to come home, but look at D Rose, how he extended and reinvented himself. Maybe that's what he want to do. I'm looking at it from that point. I'm trying to be as possible. I mean, as positive as possible. But really, I was the one. I wasn't on dope on that one. I was on straight dog food with that type of thinking, man. Because that was just, we missed the ball on that, and then we needed a wing, and there was so many other small forwards out there, and the fact that it even came out, DeMar DeRozan was like, no, we never even tended to offer to him. Didn't even look at him.
Right.
That's blasphemous in itself. If you're the front office, you're trying to get the best player available, go for the best players available, and you see the year that DeMar DeRozan is having. We did make a move the year before to get make a trade. We've been sitting on our hands. This year, yeah, we got Cam, which was good, but Tibbs didn't want Cam and didn't want to play him. I'm not saying just hand him minutes because he's a former first-round draft pick and RJ's college teammate and homeboy. No, I'm not saying that. But give the cat a shake, give him a fair shake. Give him a chance because but when he got on, you saw some flashes, you saw some things, man. Now he's gone for the season. It's just one of those things, man. It's that perfect storm, like D'Angelo said, man. I can't get that out of here because I think that's the phrase for the day, man. The perfect storm. It's beautiful, man. It's chaos, man.
Perfect
all
storm.
3 levels.
Yeah, it's really 5 levels that Freezie brought up. It's on more than 3 levels, man. It's on like 5 to 6, man.
Right.
Yeah,
I just try to figure out. I'll try to figure out with the office, yo. How can you walk into a big marketplace like this with a 2, a 4, and a 5? You set in stone with RJ, who you didn't draft. You set in stone with a Julius that has potential, and you set in stone with a center that has potential, and you got over 60 million cap space.
Yeah.
Without the window full of draft picks.
Yeah.
All you need to do is solidify that starting 5, and they could not do it. That's where all the blame starts from up there. That was so easy for you to come. At worst, you could have went Schroeder and the little left-handed blonde-headed dude that's down there in Charlotte.
Kelly Oubre. I've been screaming for him I was screaming for him out throughout free agency. This cat was leading a campaign to get something for us to pick him.
At worst, being that you didn't want to go get Lonzo Ball because of whatever draft pick you didn't want to get, like you couldn't spin that off and tell him, okay, I send you the pick and maybe I throw along a second with send Hart with him. You know what I'm saying? That could have helped you on your bench with Hart. You know what I'm saying? A leader with the younger guys and stuff. You know, but I just don't get it, man. We got the wrong personnel all the way around the board.
No, their answer was to get a washed-up point guard like Kemba, and have a backup who was injury-prone at Derrick Rose. That was their answers at the beginning of the season. At the end of the season, when they got him just before really we started the season, right. They got Kemba. I mean, what do you mean, come on. This is why the front office just does not know where they are. They don't know which end is up. So
working at the car wash.
I hope they find their way, because with all these picks and like we're really in like kind of a good position with all these picks that we have, like for the future. But I don't know if the front office is really looking at the future like that, or maybe their future they looking at is. I think they're gonna go for Zion. That's what I think. They trading everything for him. But
well, see, the thing is decent. Been okay in the draft.
We got decent, some been okay with the draft, but free agency and we really don't know what all's going to entail with a trade, because the two trades we had, we traded for Derrick Rose, got rid of stuff to get D Rose, which was, truth be told, last season he was the main piece for us having that magical year. Even though Randle, he was throwing shots up and they were falling. All the shots he's been shooting all season, the same kind of shots he took last season. That ISO ball that he run is the same thing for last year.
Yeah.
This year D Rose goes down and ass to sell out. And then now, you know, you're talking about bringing in Zion, you know,
if they do, you know,
it's going to be kind of hard. It's going to be crazy to see, because they're going to have to move these pieces and move those pieces. But considering how tight this front office is with stuff, I would like to see how it would happen. I just really, I started off with, you know, like with some of the moves they made to get trade pieces, draft picks. But now, after they can't even improve the roster, no, it's just I've been with Freezie was saying. His word, inept. I think that's your word you've been using, Freeze?
What's that?
Inept, front office.
Yes.
Inept?
Yes.
Yes. I've adopted that word. The front office is inept. They kind of like a blind, it's like a blind bloodhound, man. He ain't gonna be able to find nothing, man.
How do you, and you know, how do you as fans, and you got a lot of positive fans out there that are like, don't look, you know, there's rainbows and butterflies outside your door. It's beautiful. Everything's great. I can't. How could you be so positive and upbeat about this team? How? You show me where. I mean, we're probably looking at the same thing if the front office is still here next year. If they don't scrap it from top to bottom, we're going to be back in the same spot next year. It's the same old Groundhog story. You know, and that's why I'm so negative with it. I can't take it anymore.
You know what does?
I look for pleasure out of this team, to sit there in front of the couch and enjoy a nice win, see some progress with the young guy, whatever it is. I don't see anything positive here, except for a couple of the young guys, RJ, things like that. Yeah, those are positive. Yes, right. But other than that, I mean, come on, what do we do?
Like I said, I look at the games right now, man, to see the certain young players, to see what they could possibly do down the line. That's the only thing, because tomorrow's a different day. That's the only thing I can say. Just take it one day at a time. You know,
I hear you, so.
You know, no, but the thing is, you know, and we hear you, D'Angelo. A lot of people tired. You know, like I said, you tired because, you know, you talk about the Knicks. A lot of us talking about majority. You got a big fan base talking about those '90s Knicks, but then, you know, like I said, I can't celebrate. You know, we can talk about them having a championship, but I can't celebrate the championship. Hell, I was only a few months old when the championship came down, bro, when they won that joker. So, you know, to see us get to a finals couple and lose them like that, and then, you know, you had this 53-win season, and then everything else has been famine, not even feast. You know, it can be rough. Only thing you do is just keep taking your time. You know, stick with it. And I'm like I said, and there's no shout at nobody. Like I said, I've been, you know, football wise, I'm a Saints fan, so you had to have longevity and to stand strong with the team. Hell, we were the team that started the paper bags on your head, man. After the mess we had going on. You know, Jets fans, hey, going through rough times, have been going through some long rough times too. See what I'm saying? Giants fans, you going through rough times as well too. Right now, after the success you had, for it to fall off, but you're still rolling with your team. It's just that with the Knicks, is one of these things that, you know, it can be right there with strobe lights and spotlights on it on do this, but then you have other lights on it saying don't do this. For some reason, our front office likes the don't do this, and it goes back to somebody said on a few other shows. You got to get basketball minds in that front office. You can't have a bunch of yes men in that front office. You got to have somebody in there making the moves and looking at it like, no, we don't need this guy. We need to get this guy because he can do this, that, and the third, and he brings these other intangibles. You know, you don't need all these yes men. You don't need these big names. Quit, you know, start adopting the small market mentality for a big market, and I think we could be okay. You know,
it's not just having that win now thing, which Tips has. I want to win now. I want to win now. I want to get to the play-in. I want to get what? No, we got to look at the big picture. You want to look at things better down the line to build this franchise, not to just win now, lose out in the playoffs in the first round, and then no, you got to build something here. So what are we doing? Winning now with Fournier and Burt? No, Noel, who we haven't seen the daylight. You know, we see the shadows of him in his hospital bed. I mean, come on, it's enough. My God.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I got my faults with the front office when it comes to free agency, draft wise. They did all right. You know, I can't complain. Inexperience is one of the things we're gonna have to let, you know, we got to grit and bear it because we're gonna do a lot of on the job training, on the job learning. I think the one of the biggest things that burns everybody up is the fact that Leon Rose doesn't talk to anybody. You don't know what's going on. This front office is about as quiet as a church mouse pissing on cotton in church. And it could really, it really drives people crazy because you want information because you know, you need information to be able to process and see what kind of direction. You really don't have a direction.
Just like you and everybody else, I pay a lot of money to watch these Knicks. I went off the gamut to try to find because my cable company didn't have this and that to watch the Knicks. I mean, I'm paying a lot of money to just watch them.
Yeah,
you know, come on, we're all invested.
I try to look at it from, you know, I had my moments this season when I was like, man, this is, you know, had my moment where I was like, yeah, I'm done.
Right.
But then I had to step back and be like, you know what? The writing was on the wall. Truth be told, the first game of the season, the way we played, I had concerns. Free throw, you know, from the way the players played together to the way we brought the team in, you know, the rotations and stuff like that. It's so many things again that you can touch in regards to this debacle. But then a lot of us had high expectations. I was looking for us to build. And I was looking for us I wouldn't look for us to be the 4th seed, maybe slip to the 6th, because you had to look around. But I expect us to be way better. And yes, I was one of those saying, bro, we can get on the top side. I was saying, man, we can get either 50 to 51 wins. On the low end, I was looking at 46 to 48. You know, those are 2 wins. If the Sun, you know, I'm looking at injuries and all this and that, if they can get the rocking the right way, because we brought majority of the team back. I just didn't think that the 2 pieces you signed in free agency would be so detrimental, along with the regression. And then, like I said, you got players that took money. I feel like some players took money and they stole money, in a sense. Availability is the best ability. We got a cat that hadn't played maybe 25 games the whole season.
Right. Who you talking about, Rose?
Rose or Noel? We got multiple.
I mean, yeah. Just take your pick. You know, and you can't keep running these cats in the Freezie, just keep naming names. I mean, it's like, it's a stick
got a
up
line
kid.
of them.
Yeah, it's a lineup. Hey, they out there with that ski mask on and that burner, that Saturday Night Special in that pocket. Like, hey, give it up, baby.
Hey, they matter of fact, they ain't even out there like that. They out there like Omar. He just walking up to the building. They know what it is. They throwing it out the window.
Yeah, they are like,
throw this bag out, man.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
yeah, man. I am so frustrated with the way that the season has panned out. Yo, so let me do this too. Shout out to the people that are watching on Twitch, because I think y'all see a lot of the people that are watching on YouTube. But shout out to the people on Twitch watching also. So we got 2 crowds going at once, Twitch and on YouTube. So shout out to both parties, and shout out to everybody that's gonna watch this on replay. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, comment in the comment section, and support the things that we do around here. You know what I'm saying? We working on some major stuff, man. We trying to improve the quality of the show by having better conversations and all that stuff, and want to get more and more people involved. So shout out to the people doing that. Let me bring my guy in here real quick. Hey, CWC. Hey, listen, I know we usually do intros, man, but I was running way behind when I jumped on, and it was so much stuff to talk about that I didn't do people intros, man. So don't feel alienated that I did. We'll do the intros tomorrow.
It's all good. How y'all doing?
Good.
What's going on, CWC?
CWC.
What's up? What's up? Oh man, what's the topic, man? I want to stay on topic.
Yo, it's what G Money's in the building.
Salute.
Good. What's good?
G Money.
What's cracking, slacking?
What's shaking and baking?
Doing fine. You guys?
Yeah, trying to get rid of tips. That's all.
That's all.
For me, I'll try to hang on. This is just me. I'll hang on to Thibs until next year and see what he does next year. I will not.
You already know what he's going to do next year.
I gotta see what the roster looks next year before I see if we keep Thibs or not.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You know, the other thing that, you know, G Money, you touched on something, and the thing is, expectations are really, really high, and we kind of overlooked that.
Mm-hmm.
We still, truth be told, rebuilding. Was that it was last season that this kind of, rebuilding is done. We here. Once we heard we here, we forgot about rebuild. It's like we here. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking forward to keep building on that, and I wasn't surprised that Tibbs was going to be held. They were going to hold on to him.
Mm-hmm.
Hear me out before anybody blows me up or crucify me or strike me with lightning or break out voodoo dolls. But
well, you know we will do voodoo dolls now.
I mean, look,
we itching, bro.
The thing about it, what have we been doing? What is this team known? This organization known for when it comes to coaches? Coaches last for how many seasons?
Year and a half. Talking about Knicks coaches?
Yeah, Knicks coaches. Year and a half.
It depends. Let me see. Fisher lasted a year and a half. Hornacek lasted for, I think it was a year and a half. Rambis only lasted like half a season. Woodson lasted for 2 years and a half. Fizz lasted for a year and a half.
Yeah.
Miller lasted for half a season. Well, D'Antoni lasted for a few years.
Yeah.
About what, 2
or 3 years around that, yeah. 2008 to 2012 around that, yeah.
Yeah. So before, but yeah, after, but you know, so pretty much what I'm going with this is Tibbs is pretty much the one coach you know is going to last for 3 years, 3 seasons,
right,
with no ifs, ands, buts about it. And it's almost like you trying to shake off the stigma, like, hey, we'll hold on to a coach and give a coach a chance, even though we as fans want him out there. He wasn't my first pick to be with this team because of the situation. He's not I don't see him as a rebuild coach, but that's just my opinion. Everybody got the different wants and loves for a coach. But they're trying to do something, break an image in a sense as well. And also, this is on the front office as well.
Mm-hmm.
They got to stick by their pick. And I mean, we already know, you know, we've been discussing about the mistakes they made in free agency and stuff like that. Now you got to roll with your coach that you pick after that big, you know, it was like a manhunt when they were going out for a coach before. You know, all those candidates they brought in and stuff. It was like they brought in like 30 candidates and stuff. They were bringing in cash from the rec league and from Pop Warner trying to interview them as well. But we settled on Thibodeau, you know, and this is what we got to roll with. So I just think he's going to get this 3rd year. I'm with CWC currently. If I was to say for the here and now where things are going,
it's going to be pretty much a lot of the same, unless we can move certain people. Kimball should be gone.
Kimball's got
Fournier
it.
probably still be here. Hopefully, Nerlens is, some folk like Nerlens, he did his thing. I thought he was actually going to be gone, but we held on to him. It's going to be some changes. We have to see what happens with the lineup before I can even go out that far. But if I was to say right now, the way I feel, if I was to do it with emotion, it'd be the same. But I'm not going to use emotion with it. I'm just going to just say, we'll see. Stand by to stand by. That's all I can say on that.
I can do one or two things with Tom. I can keep him, or I can ask him to step down, because I do believe he got 3-year guaranteed contract. I think it's 5 years, 3 years guaranteed. So now it's up to the office to make the right decisions. Now, if the office this season doesn't change this roster, we can't make trades and get switch none of these guys out, do something different to give us some type of fresh look. Then me personally, I would probably have to ask Tom to step down, because we already done it with these guys and we went nowhere. And like I said, the 3 C's don't pass us. Cleveland, Chicago, Charlotte. Detroit is on the verge of passing us, depending on what they do. And they got major money over there. You know what I'm saying? And they're getting a top pick. But for us, we know a draft pick between 7 and somewhere around 12. And this draft, which is is known to be a weak draft, it's not going to be a player that can come in on this roster and completely turn us around in one off season. We know that for a fact. So if the roster's not going to change, I need to have somebody to come here where the guys walking here and they won't be looking at Tom and be like, oh man, their heads down. It's the same thing. What's going to change? There ain't no new play. I don't need that type of theory coming into the gym at the beginning of a season. You know what I'm saying? But if I got somebody new that the guys might get a spark, you know what I'm saying, from, that might want to play for this person, might want to jumpstart their game or take off or something, then that's something different. But if I change the roster and I get some players that it look like, okay, we can make some better noise than what we did this year.
Right.
We should be a playoff team and not a playing team. Then I want to keep Tom, because he's been through the times, the battles, the bruises. You know what I'm saying? Now he got something to fight with. He deserved that. But if they don't change this roster and get that man something to fight with, you know what I'm saying? I'll be asking him to step down. The man been here, 3 years? This is going to be his 3rd year. The man ain't even wore a tailor-made suit yet on the sidelines. Nothing. You know what I'm saying? He ain't even got comfortable here. So, I mean, really, it's one or two things that I can do, man. But it all depends on what this office is going to do.
But Jay Boogie,
But
Jay Boogie, Tom got who he want. Then he got Rose, right? He got Grind, McBride, Noel, and he wanted Randall. He wanted Randall. So he got like 7 players.
And Taj, he didn't want Taj too. He also wanted Taj.
Yeah. Todd Gibson. So you can't have your cake and eat it too. You know what I mean? And Leon Rose, he messed up too.
So
he
CWC, why does that saying make sense? You can't have your cake and eat it too. Why is that? That saying don't make sense in my mind. I just need somebody.
It does. It's just like for Christmas, like, you know, a little kid want everything. He want every toy, but he can't get it, and you can't get everything that's on the shelf.
I never understood that neither, man. You can slice me a cake, but I can look at it.
Right. Yeah, you can have your cake and eat it too. Because I'm gonna tell you, I know a lot of cats. Well, I come from a long line of some hefty people. And I know a whole lot of skinny fat guys, they're going to eat that cake, dog. I don't care who's in front of it, what you say. They're going to take the cake, and they're going to take the belt on top of that. So,
yeah. Hey, and so let me say this to Lewis Wilkinson. Lewis Wilkinson, thank you for the generous contribution. Lewis Wilkinson says the best president and general manager we had was Dave Checketts and Ernie Grunfeld. And I think I might agree with that.
You know what? He has a good point. He has a really good point, because they were making some good moves.
And Ernie was a heart type person. Ernie played with his heart when he played for us. So, up in the office, he was making hard decisions. But you got dude in there don't know nothing about basketball, man. He just know about how much money I can get you, or how much money you're not gonna get, or that's all he know. He don't know nothing about X's and O's, how to start a team. He don't know nothing. You got this dude running around he ain't even running around the world no more. He just running around the city. So I'm gonna start calling him City West.
Hey, check this out. Now, how about next year? How about we keep like the same roster and get like a couple people in, new people in? And how about if Tibbs play Burks 30 minutes and he played McBride like 10 minutes? What would y'all do?
You're gonna have people upset. Look, I already know you said that, and I see it. D'Angelo not even on camera. His head is probably about to explode. Eyes are big as saucers right now when you said that, man.
Right now.
Who's that, Soul Finger?
I said D'Angelo. He's not even on camera.
Oh, Trae Young is going to make his head explode even more. Trae Young to make his head explode even more tomorrow.
Yeah.
But that's real though, right?
I mean, the thing is, if they would, like I said, we're seeing a lot of ifs. If was a fifth, we all be full. The thing about it, there's going to be changes because some people are going to go. But I see what you're saying, CWC, on how our coach is a creature of habit and he likes to stick with what he knows. To get him to succeed, you have to take away certain pieces from him. And the front office got to be smart about who to take away, and who to bring in. You have to bring in that, some I've seen some in different chats. Some folk don't like, well, we don't need a point guard. We okay with this. Talking point guard is crazy all the time. But, I'm of that ilk. When you build a team, you have a point guard. You start with a point guard and you have your big man, the foundation, point guard and a center. And then you go, even though the league has changed and go in different ways, but you need a point guard to get people in the right spot and to calm everybody down and direct. The point guard is supposed to be your coach on the floor, a floor general.
Exactly.
We don't need somebody come in gunning, and let me pass you this ball. I'm gonna pass the ball, even though I got a big man. I'm passing at his ankles. That's not what we want. That's not what we need.
Right. Just real
that
quick.
Last night.
So Brooklyn Buddha, thank you for the generous contribution. Brooklyn Buddha says it should be you can't keep your cake and eat it too. That should be the saying, right?
I agree with that.
But when you get married, you get a cake and you can eat it.
Yeah, you can munch it, slurp.
Everybody don't want to you can't have everything. You know what I mean?
You can't always play what you want.
You see, that's not what I'm asking. I mean, I get that. I get that. You can't have the whole kit and caboodle, right? Anybody in here know what a caboodle is?
Nah.
So, but yeah, I get what you're saying about the whole kit and caboodle, right? But what I'm saying is, why do they make this reference to cake? Like you can't have your cake and eat it too. Like I'm an adult. If I buy
that's the saying, Uncle Freezie. You know that saying.
Okay. What I'm saying is, okay, never mind.
You trying to change it around, Uncle Freezie?
Nah. I get that. I get that. No one person can have it all.
Yeah.
I get that. I get that part. But why the cake reference is what I'm getting at.
Man, check this out. Okay,
CWC. So CWC, I gotta run, y'all. I gotta get out.
Hold on, Uncle Freezie. Hold up. Hey, we ain't making the playing tournament, right? And we ain't winning no championship, right? Okay. So what I would do, I would sit Randle home, tell him go home, take a vacation, phone in the air, and all the vets. I would just play the young guy. I don't care if McBride made 10 mistakes on the court.
But you don't have enough young people to do that though.
You develop your young core.
No, I get that, but you don't have.
You only got 12 games to play. Come on,
right.
Yeah, but ain't but so many games a guy can miss without being injured, yo. You just can't do that.
You just can't send them home without some kind of reason
like that, yo.
Well, I'll send them on the bench then.
Okay, well,
yeah, they can give them a nip, but then that's gonna be more controversy and
the players union is gonna file a grievance, and you might lose a draft pick. But you know what? Politics. The choice is yours. You can go with this, Or you can go with that.
With that, yeah.
Sure, Orlando
Engine-
and Detroit doing it, and Houston doing it.
So CWC, you ain't get the reference.
They not
engine number 9 on the New York Transit line. If that train goes off the track,
really. Pick it up. Back on the scene.
Yeah, okay. And Home Team made a song too. You remember Home Team is a group that used to be Poison Clan. Remember Poison Clan split up into 2 groups, Poison Clan and Home Team?
Who the hell is that? Y'all tell y'all
Poison Clan.
You ain't never heard of
it. Poison Clan was Uncle Luke's. That's down there with Uncle Luke.
Yeah, they was the gangster version of Luke Records. You know what I'm saying? And Two Live Crew was the party version. So you had a party group and a gangster group, and two of the dudes in the gangster group had reformed. They like, yo, we getting tired of this street life, man. We want to spit some knowledge and then Poison Clan was like, no, we ain't doing that. That was JT Money, and then the dudes that broke off, JT Money stayed. You ever heard of JT Money? Who that?
Yeah. That's my fault right there.
That's
well, he was Poison Clan.
Yeah, but he used to be in Poison Clan. Yeah, and then the other 2 dudes, they reformed their life. They were like, yo, we don't want to talk about that stuff as much. We want to talk about, and they had this joint that was a club banger called Pick It Up. Boom. Pick it up, where they used the sample from. Anyway, never mind. Anytime I get into hip hop, man, I be, my bad, man. I just love hip hop.
Yeah.
Hey, did you you sent me Chuck Allen's information, right?
Yes.
All right, well let me call him.
Hey, J Book, and two, why we here? Because I'm about to go in here and take a deep nap. I'm about to take 2 naps at the same time.
Okay.
That's how sleepy I am, right? But I never got the stuff that you said you was gonna get for me on a telephone call.
For the what?
The video.
Hey, the dude, he didn't send it. He didn't send it to me, so it wasn't. That's the only reason why.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can get it from Ron.
Hey, Uncle Freezie, before you go.
Hey, CW.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead, Jay Boogie.
Real quick, man. When you was going on Burks, I'm just gonna not push you back, but just a lot of people don't realize, Burks wasn't asked to be in that position. He was forced to be in that position.
Yeah, he was.
And failure. This year, at the beginning of the season, before they made him into a point guard, Burks was off to a hell of a good start. He was in kill mode. Last year, before Burks was playing point guard, remember, he was closing out a lot of games for us. The problem is with Burks, being that he's in that position and we're not winning, of course, guys want to point the finger where you should be playing the other guys that learn so they can learn how to play guard. That's Burks' situation. You know what I'm saying? If Burks could just be Burks and play off the ball, he's a different ball player. But when you put people in to make decisions and they not used to playing, being bosses and make boss moves, you know what I'm saying? Then they do like they do. They make unnecessary decisions that messes up the organization. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
That's
hey, Jay Boogie. Yeah. I understand that. I understand that. I know Burks is a good player. I know he playing out position with him and Quickly. I'm just saying the minutes, man. I'm just talking about like the minutes. Just put some minutes on McBride. Share some minutes with McBride. Give him like 13 minutes.
No, I feel you on that one, CWC.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Thing. That's what we should have been doing towards it. Once you're looking at it like this, and they're going by the mathematics of making it. I'm like, man, bump that. Because, even if you make the play-in, I still look at the season as a failure. If we would have made it to the playoffs and even dropped in going in at the 6th seed, I'll say, okay, I can live with that. But coming in in the play-in, come on, man. That's not a good look. And that's not attractive to a free agent. And again, not to keep going on the Tibbs thing, but you got players looking like, I don't want to play for him as well.
Yeah. I guarantee you no stars will want to come here and play for him.
Yeah, so it's all kinds of stuff. It's that perfect storm, man. It's that perfect storm. But like the younger cats they're getting very sparse minutes. You gotta play them. You got 10 games left in the season. I think it's 10 games. Man, just play those cats, man. Give Deuce, and actually, I want to see Deuce at least bring it up. I've seen him bringing the ball up and actually to get an offense going like twice. Since Houston. Okay, if we lose, we lose. But I would rather lose. I'd rather take an L with players like Deuce and Sims being more active, and go from there. So
hey, the 11th spot is the play-in tournament, right?
Was that
the play-in spot? That's the 11th seed.
No, that's
the play-in tournament.
10th. They got to get into the 10th seed.
We 5 games behind Atlanta, man. Ain't no catching that, yo. 5 games. Just be happy that you moved up 2 slots. You moved from outside the 10, inside the 10. We moved to the 9th spot last night. We hope we can move up another 2 slots and hope maybe in the draft we get the extra ping pongs that'll move us up, man. You know what I'm saying? But, man, it's in turmoil, man. I ain't even Deuce, before I can produce, you got to do something to your hair first. Get all that. You know, you wore the same hairstyle the whole year, man. Yeah, like you don't even want to be here, man.
Yeah, because I mean, you got to look at this, man. It's a lot of things that's going on with the squad that it's just got everybody up in arms, and the style of old school play, you know, just very vanilla. I think that's a good term to use. It's real vanilla with it. Yeah, the ISO, it gets old, man. ISO. And like I said, Randle's not able to duplicate what he did that season last season, man. Those shots were falling. They're not going to fall now. You can only take so many step back threes all the time, man. Instead of going to the rack, but you got to have the right pieces in play. You know, again, in his defense, Tib wasn't given everything that he needed to succeed, nor is he helping his team to succeed by putting players in bad positions. So it's kind of like that again to the storm that D'Angelo brought up. How can you do something when you don't have, well, you do have a point guard, but you don't play him because he's inexperienced, but you're not giving him the experience to give him the time to get the experience he needs to develop, to play. Yeah, he can sit on the bench or whatever else. You can put him in the G League, but at this point in time, he needs time to play. You know, and it's a mess. But I mean,
man, we could have had Cole Anthony in the draft.
Yeah, I mean, we could have.
Yeah, that would solve a lot of issues right there.
I mean, you
go there. Bless you. I'm gonna holler back at y'all.
All right, Boogie, be easy now.
All right, Boogie.
You know, we could talk about, we could have had either one of those Bridges cats, but we don't. You know, I don't want to, you know, just go back looking at what we could have had, could have, should have, would have, but we don't. You know, we just got to deal with the cause. It's like when you playing bones, and some, you know, I play. If you got 4 more doubles, you got to hold them. I call it read them and weep, bro. Hey, you just got to deal with the hand you got and just work it. And we progress from there. It's just what the here and now we got going on, right? You know, the here and now, this moment, the players we have. We needed a point guard. Once I found out, you know, when I saw the Lakers picked up DJ Augustine out of free agency, it's like, man, DJ Augustine, someone's gonna say he sucked or whatever else, but he was a point guard. He's a point guard. He can manage the offense, and it's better than what we have. Because I'd rather see. I would rather see Burks back in his role in IQ. You know, IQ is. I'd rather see IQ do his thing. He's microwave. He's a 6-man. He's a 6-man kind of cat.
Yeah. And know what too? I ain't like what happened last night. Why would you take Toppin out the game and he was doing good? See, that ticked me off right there. You know what I'm saying? What did this dude have to do to earn minutes like that, man?
You know what?
If I was Toppin, I would ask for a trade next year. Get me out of here.
What I'm about to do. I just want to ask Sherwin M. What would you do, Sherwin M? Since everything is we making up foolish speculations or whatever else. how about you come on and contribute something to the thing, or put something in the chat that we can go off of? Because I see you put in a lot of stuff yourself that I choose not to say anything about, that are kind of on the floor, that you put out some food stuff too. But I'm just gonna say that it is what it is. You know, put out something that we can go on. Because again, I agree with you. This team is not perfect. Tibbs is not perfect. We said that. So I don't know what part of the conversation that you missed. Normally I don't go at anybody. It's just one of them things. It's kind of like, you know, everybody put out some good shots, but bring something to the table constructive too.
I don't understand. If million people see it in the world, and people from other teams, coaches everywhere, why can't other people see it? I just don't realize that, man. I just don't understand that, man.
Yeah, well,
it's crazy.
Well, it's you know, everybody has different opinions, man. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna holler at y'all tomorrow, same time, maybe earlier. Hopefully, vibes and stuff live don't go over. I'm trying, D'Angelo. I'm trying not to have this thing go over. But
it's too good that show, brother. It's too good that show.
We start. Hey, man, we trying, man. We're trying not to squeeze 3 hours worth of content into an hour, right? but
no, the vibes and stuff. You're gonna have to expound it, because you got some good action going on over there.
But when you start talking about long distance relationships,
it's fun.
And your home. When I start talking about Lil Dewey, I get long winded when I talk about Lil Dewey, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, Lil Dewey,
and Chris,
and Chris, big Chris, yeah, with the tight shirt. I saw, so funny. I saw him the other day, right? Walking in the parking lot, and he had on this shirt it was raining, right? So it's raining, it's drizzling. He walking around with this shirt on him so tight, bro. I'm telling you, I was the shirt was so tight on him it made me blush, bro. I was like, you know what I'm saying?
It's a little cold outside. We see those two things sticking out.
Yeah, like what are you hiding, bro? You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, I'm gonna get out of here, man. I'll holler at y'all tomorrow, man.
Later.
Thank you. Easy there, Freeze.
All right, chat. Uncle Freeze, Soul Finger, D'Angelo.
See you, brother.